Good morning, everyone. There's a story about these two guys sitting in a bar, Benny and Isaac, and they're having a conversation over a drink. And Benny says to Isaac, "Isaac, where you from?" He says, "I'm from Jerusalem." And Benny says, "Really? I'm from Jerusalem too. Where did you grow up in Jerusalem?" And Benny says, "Just a few blocks from the King David Hotel." And Isaac says, "Really? I also grew up a few blocks from the King David Hotel. Tell me, which school did you go to for college?" He said, "I went to Bar Ilan University." And he says, "Really? I also went to Bar Ilan University." And then Benny says to Isaac, "What year did you graduate Bar Ilan University?" He says, 1993. And Benny says, "Really? I also graduated in 1993. This is unbelievable. It's Bashert that was sitting next to each other in the bar." At that point, a customer walks in and the bartender goes over to serve him a drink, and he says to the new customer, "Boy, it's going to be a long night tonight. The Goldberg brothers, twins, are drunk again." You see, all Jews are really twins. Even if we didn't grow up in the same neighborhood or go to the same schools, even if we were raised in different ends of the earth, we all feel like we are part of one big spiritual family, the Jewish nation. And that's why in this week's Torah portion we have the story of Korach. One of the tragedies that occurred in the desert was the story of Korach, who led a rebellion against Moses and rallied 250 men with him to challenge the authority, the leadership of Moses, and try to assume power for himself. And after the tragic ending where Korach and his assembly were swallowed up alive in the ground, there is a prohibition that says, "Do not be like Korach and his assembly," which is the prohibition of engaging in machloket. Machloket is anything that is divisive and causes strife, animosity, hatred, enmity, division, fragmentation amongst the Jewish people. But it doesn't mean we can't have differences of opinion. As it says in Pirkei Avot, that a dispute for the sake of heaven with altruistic motives is like the Talmudic disputes of Hillel and Shammai, and they will endure because there's something to learn from both sides of the opinion, because they're for a higher purpose, for a greater goal. But disputes like Korach and his assembly that are driven by ego and self-interest and personal gain, those are doomed to fail. And unlike the other tragedies, whether it was the golden calf or the spies, that there's no prohibition that follows and says, "Do not be like them." This one episode, has an everlasting commandment to us as a Jewish nation, to always be united, never divided. Because the strength of the Jewish people is in us knowing that we are all one and twins of each other. Some of the oldest trees in the world are in California, the sequoia trees, the California redwoods. Some of them are hundreds of feet tall, and they are over 3,000 years old, which means they've been around since the time of Abraham and Sarah, surely Moses and Aaron, and the Exodus from Egypt. They've been around for over 3,000 years. And scientists and botanists wanted to understand the secret of these trees. They figured the roots must be hundreds of feet deep to be able to survive all the storms and conditions of 3,000 years of existence. But when they dug into the soil, they discovered something remarkable, that vertically the roots are not that deep, maybe 5, 10, 15 feet deep. But the strength of the sequoia tree, the California redwoods, is that after it goes down vertically for 10 feet, let's say, it then goes horizontally, sometimes hundreds of feet. And all the different roots of the sequoia trees, the California redwoods, interlock with one another, forming a unity beneath the surface. And that is the real strength of the trees. It's their connection in their roots to one another that keeps them strong and allows them to weather all the storms and all the weather conditions for thousands of years and grow to tremendous heights. Even though above the surface they're each an individual tree, beneath the surface they hold hands as one. Isn't that the story of the Jewish people? Thousands of years old, tall and proud, despite all the different storms and attempts to annihilate us, here we are. And what is our strength? Because in our souls, we know we are all interconnected, we are all one. and therefore we're able to overcome all challenges. And that is what will keep us strong, and that's why the Torah says, let division and strife, to what Korach tried to instigate, never occur in the Jewish community. With love and unity, we always prevail. Have a wonderful day.